You wake up, the room is dark, everything is quiet, and you already know before you even look it's somewhere around 3 in the morning. You're not sick, you're not in pain, you just woke up. Again. Like your body set an alarm you never asked for. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. A lot of people over 60 find themselves lying awake in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why this keeps happening. Here is something worth saying right at the start. Waking up around 3 in the morning does not automatically mean something is seriously wrong. For many people, it is part of how sleep changes with age. But when it happens often, when it drains your energy, or when it comes alongside other symptoms, it is worth understanding, not ignoring. The clock says 3 a.m., but the real question is not the time. The real question is what woke your body up. That is what this video is going to help you figure out. Let's start with something most people don't realize until it starts happening to them. After 60, sleep often becomes lighter. Not for everyone and not all at once, but for many older adults, the deep, heavy sleep that used to carry them through the night can gradually become more fragmented. When you're younger, you tend to spend more time in the deeper stages of sleep. Your brain is less easily disturbed. A sound, a shift in temperature, a brief moment of physical discomfort. You sleep through it without ever knowing it happened. But as the body ages, sleep can become more sensitive. Those same small disruptions that you used to sleep through may now pull you into a lighter state. And once you cross that threshold into lighter sleep, even the smallest thing can wake you completely. This is not a disease. It is not a sign your body is failing. It is a well-recognized change in how sleep works as we get older. But understanding it matters, because it means that things you could get away with at 40, a late coffee, a heavy meal, a stressful evening, may now affect your sleep in ways they didn't before. After 60, sleep can become lighter, so small problems become louder at night. Now let's talk about one of the most common reasons people wake up in the middle of the night, and one of the most overlooked: needing to use the bathroom. It sounds simple, almost embarrassing to mention, but frequent nighttime urination, what healthcare professionals call nocturia, is one of the most common reasons older adults wake during the night. And it can pull you fully awake at almost exactly the same time each night because your body and bladder can follow a pattern. There are several things that may contribute to this. Drinking fluids too close to bedtime is one of the more straightforward ones. But for some people, the causes go deeper. Bladder changes that come with age can reduce how much urine the bladder comfortably holds. For men, prostate changes may be involved. Certain medications, including some prescribed for blood pressure, heart conditions, or fluid retention, can increase nighttime urination as a side effect. Diabetes and sleep apnea have also been linked to more frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom. If nighttime urination is happening very frequently, or if it is accompanied by other symptoms like burning, urgency, or changes in color, it may be worth discussing with a qualified healthcare professional. There are often things that can be done to help, but first you need to understand what is causing it for you specifically. A simple starting point for some people: try shifting your fluid intake earlier in the day and reduce what you drink in the 2 or 3 hours before bed. Not to the point of dehydration, just to shift the pattern. It does not work for everyone, but for some people it makes a real difference. Here is another cause that tends to surprise people, even though when you think about it, it makes complete sense: stress, worry, quiet anxiety. There is something about the middle of the night that makes worry skill louder. During the day, you have noise, activity, conversation, tasks, things that give your mind something to do. But at 3 in the morning, the distractions are gone, and whatever was quietly sitting at the back of your mind during the day can suddenly feel very loud. This can be enough to wake you up. And once you're awake with your thoughts racing, falling back asleep can feel almost impossible. Sometimes the problem is not waking up. The problem is not being able to fall back asleep. For a lot of people over 60, there is no shortage of things to worry about: health, finances, family, loss, change. These are real concerns, and they do not disappear when the light goes off. What can happen is that the mind, now unoccupied, starts processing them in the quiet hours when there is nothing else to attend to. If this resonates, one thing that may help is building a simple wind-down routine before bed, not to force yourself to feel calm, but to give your mind a chance to slow down before you expect it to sleep. Writing down worries or tomorrow's tasks earlier in the evening can sometimes help the mind feel like it has filed things away. And if anxiety is significantly affecting your sleep or your daily life, speaking with a healthcare professional or a counselor is worth considering. Pain is another factor that deserves honest attention. Joint pain, back stiffness, muscle aches, these tend to become more common with age. And what you might not notice during the day, when you're moving around and distracted, can become very noticeable at night when you have been still for several hours. An uncomfortable mattress, a position that puts pressure on a hip or shoulder, stiffness that builds while you sleep, arthritis that flares when you stop moving. Any of these can pull you out of sleep in the early morning hours without you immediately realizing that pain was the trigger. If you often wake up and find yourself shifting positions, or if you notice aching joints or back discomfort when you try to get back to sleep, physical comfort may be worth looking at. A different sleeping position, a supportive pillow, or adjustments to your mattress can sometimes make a surprising difference. And if pain is persistent or severe, that is absolutely a conversation to have with a healthcare professional, not something to simply push through every night. Now, there is one cause that affects a significant number of older adults and often goes undiagnosed for years. It is worth paying careful attention here: Sleep apnea is a condition where breathing becomes disrupted during sleep, sometimes stopping briefly, then restarting. The brain, sensing the change in oxygen or breathing pattern, can rouse you slightly or fully. Many people with sleep apnea do not remember waking up, but they do feel the effects. Heavy daytime tiredness, difficulty concentrating, waking with headaches, feeling unrefreshed in the morning even after a full night in bed. Some signs that may suggest sleep apnea is worth looking into: loud snoring, gasping, or choking sounds during sleep reported by a partner, pauses in breathing noticed by someone else, waking with a dry mouth, morning headaches, or feeling exhausted during the day despite sleeping. Sleep apnea tends to become more common with age, and it can have real effects on overall health when left unmanaged. Do not ignore loud snoring, gasping, or heavy daytime sleepiness. If any of these sound familiar, please speak with a qualified healthcare professional. Sleep apnea can often be effectively managed, but it needs to be properly assessed first. Let's shift to something that is often within your control. Caffeine, alcohol, and late meals may all be contributing to your 3 a.m. wake up, and many people underestimate how much, especially as the body changes with age. Caffeine can stay in the system for many hours after you drink it. For some older adults, the body processes caffeine more slowly than it once did, meaning an afternoon coffee or even a midday tea can still be affecting your sleep quality hours later. This does not mean cutting out all caffeine, but for some people, moving caffeinated drinks to the morning hours only can lead to noticeably better sleep. Alcohol is another one worth thinking about carefully. A glass of wine at dinner can feel like it helps you relax and fall asleep, and in the short term, it may. But alcohol can disrupt the later stages of sleep, leading to lighter, more fragmented rest and earlier waking. For some people, especially over 60, even a modest amount of alcohol in the evening can interfere with sleep more than they realize. Heavy or rich meals close to bedtime can also play a role. Digestion takes energy, and lying down with a full stomach can lead to discomfort, reflux, or simple restlessness. This doesn't mean you can't eat dinner. It means paying attention to timing and portion size in the hours before bed. Here is one that fewer people think about, but it matters a great deal: your sleep schedule and what you do during the day. The body runs on a biological clock. That clock needs signals to stay calibrated. Two of the most powerful signals it relies on are light and physical movement. Morning light is particularly important. When you step outside or sit near a bright window in the early part of the day, you are sending your body clock a clear message: the day has started. This helps regulate when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy later in the evening. People who spend most of their day indoors, especially in dimmer environments, may find their body clock becomes less reliable, making nighttime sleep weaker. Your body clock needs signals. Morning light tells it when the day begins. Physical movement during the day, even gentle walking, stretching, or whatever is safe and manageable for you, can also support sleep quality. A body that has been active has more reason to rest. A body that has barely moved all day may not build up enough sleep pressure to stay asleep through the night. And then there is daytime napping. A short rest in the early afternoon can be genuinely helpful for some people. But long naps, or naps taken late in the afternoon or early evening, may reduce the body's drive to sleep at night. If you nap for more than 20 or 30 minutes, or if you nap late in the day, that could be quietly working against your nighttime rest. Irregular sleep and wake times are another piece of this. The body responds well to consistency. Going to bed and waking up at different times each day, including weekends, can keep your body clock from settling into a reliable pattern. A more consistent schedule, even an imperfect one, tends to support better sleep over time. There is one more area that is important to mention, and it requires some care in how it is discussed. Certain medications can affect sleep. Some may make it harder to fall asleep. Others may cause lighter sleep, more vivid dreams, or earlier waking. Medications for blood pressure, heart conditions, depression, asthma, thyroid conditions, and many other common concerns can all have sleep-related side effects in some people. This does not mean you should stop taking any medication. Please do not stop or change a prescribed medication without speaking to the doctor or healthcare provider who prescribed it. But if you are waking frequently and your medication changed around the same time your sleep changed, that connection is worth raising with your healthcare team. There may be options: adjusting timing, adjusting dose, or exploring alternatives. But that is a conversation for a professional who knows your full health picture. Similarly, certain health conditions beyond those already mentioned, thyroid imbalances, heart conditions, blood sugar issues, and others, can be connected to sleep disruption. If you have a known health condition that is not well managed, your sleep may reflect that. So what can you actually do? The foundation, for most people, starts with the basics, and the basics are worth taking seriously because they are genuinely powerful for many people. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, even when you did not sleep well the night before. This consistency helps your body clock find its rhythm. Get morning light when you can. Even 10 or 15 minutes near a window or outside in the morning can help signal your body that the day has started. Move during the day in whatever way is safe and comfortable for you. A daily walk, gentle stretching, or any form of moderate activity can support sleep over time. Be mindful of caffeine timing. For many people, keeping caffeine to the morning hours and being aware of hidden caffeine in tea, cola, and chocolate can make a difference. Watch late meals. A lighter dinner or finishing eating a bit earlier in the evening may help reduce nighttime discomfort for some people. Manage fluids carefully. Staying well hydrated during the day is important, but shifting more of that fluid intake to earlier hours and reducing what you drink in the last couple of hours before bed may reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Keep your sleeping environment comfortable. A cool, dark, quiet room tends to support better sleep. Small changes, blackout curtains, earplugs, a fan for white noise, a comfortable mattress or pillow, can sometimes have a bigger impact than expected. If you wake up in the middle of the night, try not to look at the clock. Clock watching tends to increase anxiety about not sleeping, which makes it harder to sleep. Turn the clock away or put the phone face down. Avoid bright screens if you wake and can't get back to sleep. The light from phones and tablets can signal your brain to become more alert. If you need to get up, use dim light, stay calm, do something quiet, and try to return to bed when you feel sleepy. And keep a wind down routine. Something simple, a few minutes of quiet reading, gentle stretching, or just sitting quietly, can help your body recognize that sleep is coming. It does not have to be elaborate, it just has to be consistent. Before we close, there is something important to say directly. This video is for general educational purposes only. It is not personal medical advice. Everyone's body is different, everyone's history is different, and general information, however well-intentioned, is not a substitute for a conversation with a healthcare professional who knows you. If your sleep problems are frequent and significantly affecting your daily life, please speak with a qualified healthcare professional, especially if you or someone you share a bed with notices loud snoring, gasping, or pauses in breathing. Especially if you are waking with chest discomfort, significant anxiety, or confusion. Especially if you are experiencing heavy daytime sleepiness that affects your ability to function safely. Especially if nighttime urination is very frequent or comes with other urinary symptoms. And if you ever experience dizziness, falls, or anything that feels like a safety concern at night, that also deserves professional attention. These are not things to manage alone with habit changes. They deserve proper evaluation. Here is the truth about waking up at 3 in the morning after 60. It does not mean your sleep is broken forever. It does not mean you are helpless, and it does not mean something catastrophic is happening. For many people, it means the body is changing, and sleep is becoming more sensitive to the things around it and inside it. It may mean your habits need some adjusting. It may mean your environment is not as sleep-friendly as it could be. It may mean something physical or medical is worth looking into. Or it may mean simply that your body, like many bodies over 60, is sleeping a little more lightly. And what that asks of you is a little more attention, a little more consistency, and a little more care. The goal is not perfect sleep every single night. That is not realistic for most people at any age. The goal is to understand your pattern, to protect your rest as best you can, to give your body the right signals, and to know when something deserves more than a habit change. You spend roughly a third of your life asleep. That time matters. Your rest matters. Take it seriously, calmly, thoughtfully, and without unnecessary fear. Because when you sleep better, almost everything else in your day tends to go better too.